welcome to Leadership Tips. I'm Susan Stamm, the author of 42 Rules of Employee Engagement, and today I'd like to talk about Rule 26. Turf is for stadiums, not for teams. One of the more challenging aspects of our work through the years has been in helping teams move through conflict. Once we were contracted by an executive director of a nonprofit to help his leadership team work through some conflict that was paralyzing the team. I will never forget the first meeting with this group. We had the chairs in the room arranged in a circle, and as the last person entered the room, the only remaining chair happened to be right next to the person she was most in conflict with. We watched as she slowly approached the chair, and then she moved it 45 degrees so she could sit with her back to her colleague. On another occasion, in the middle of an honest but intense interchange between a medical team, one of the nurses jumped up and ran from the room. I followed her and ended up chasing her all the way to the parking lot where she was apparently preparing to get in her car and leave the meeting. It took 30 minutes of coaxing her to get her to return so we could keep working on the issue at hand. In almost all the situations we've been called into, the most frustrating discovery has been learning how long the conflict had been going on. In many cases, we'd learned that it had been in place for years. Some of the real origin of the conflict was so far back that few of the new players that had joined the team and had gotten pulled into the conflict, they had no actual knowledge of where the conflict had actually begun. The effects of unaddressed, long-festering conflict can be devastating. 2 years ago in our local community, the Wilbur Chocolate Factory was shut down temporarily due to glass fragments that were found in the chocolate. News circulated in our community that long-running discontent between employees and management may have contributed to the act of sabotage. Federal investigators could not get to the bottom of the incident, but friends of folks who have worked at this plant say when the plant reopened, there was no attempt to improve the working climate there. We've been long proponents of team-oriented environments where collaboration and innovation can flourish. I'll never forget the conversation we had with our attorney as we processed the request for our national trademark for the team approach. Our attorney asked us, "Are you sure you want to invest in this brand name? Isn't this team stuff just a fad?" The need for teamwork has never been greater, but it is leadership that inspires and facilitates an environment where it can flourish. Even conflict that can be a source of innovation and creativity if leaders know how to use this as a tool and don't shy away from it and let it grow out of control. Here is my call to action. One key way to keep conflict at bay is to get everyone focused on the big picture, the team's purpose, its goals, and how it can satisfy the customer. When employees are internally focused, you'll see pettiness and a lack of focus on the purpose and the plan. One way to shift this focus is to engage your team in an exercise using our Team Checkup. A free version of this tool and a corresponding facilitator guide can be found on our website. The Team Checkup provides your team with an opportunity to look at itself and interpret what it sees, identifying where it can make improvements and mapping out a plan to get there. To access this tool, go to our website, teamapproach.com. Click on the button for the free Team Checkup. Pull together your team with an outside facilitator. You can invite a team leader or another team member from another team to serve in this role. Or you can contact us to support your team in the process. But don't try to participate in this exercise and also serve as the facilitator. This doesn't work. The Team Checkup will present your team with 9 areas of team performance to analyze and discuss. The key to being successful with this tool is to allow your team to determine what the scores mean and what should be done to make improvements. Let the team drive the process and direction. You'll be amazed at the result. To prepare, I encourage you to review my previous leadership tip for rule number 12, sharing builds community, to get them into the right mindset for the process. Don't let your team hide from their issues, but don't try to save them either. They'll support the solutions that they come up with on their own. Give them plenty of time to find their own solutions. Use the team checkup to get conflict out on the table early before it grows into a larger problem. Leadership requires you to be a proactive member of your own team. When things start brewing on the team, address them right away. Today's leadership tip has been brought to you by the Team Approach. Check out the 42 Rules button on our website at teamapproach.com for a template to help you discuss and act on Rule 26 and for other resources to create engagement on your team.